Hey, what is going on, ladies and gents? Welcome back to another live stream here. How are we all doing? Let me know if you can see me okay and if you can hear me okay. We've got a very exciting market today. And I want to give a quick shout out to everyone that was tuning in right before this live stream started. Shout out to 𝐂𝐥𝐿𝐧, one of our regular viewers, saying, "Hey, Sammy, thanks for the live stream. It's a bloody Sunday." Yes, it is. It is a bloody Sunday. Look at this, by the way. Bitcoin dominance is right now basically setting brand new highs, like literally in the last couple of minutes. Now up above 63%. And actually, it got higher than this on this spike, but now it looks like we're actually sticking to it. So this definitely means trouble for altcoins in this market, I would say. But we'll get to all of that in just a minute. Shout out to Mohammed Alta. Did I say that right? Yeah, man, this is a great time idea. Thank you very much. 𝐂𝐥𝐿𝐧 says, I see sales all over the place. Let me know, ladies and gents, if you can see me okay and if you can hear me okay. And tell me, as usual, where you're watching from today. You like from a city, from a country, wherever you feel comfortable sharing. And, of course, do you feel bullish or bearish? Let me know in the live chat as we kick this thing off. Smash those likes up as you do come in, ladies and gents. It's the first live stream we've done a little bit of time. If you're excited for it like I am, do me a favor and smash them up. We can go all night if we need to. That's no issue. So we got London in the house. What's going on, man? Don't forget to subscribe to Sammy's content. It's the best around. Thank you very, very much. Awoken is tired of this shit. Awoken says, bro, I am tired of this shit. What are you tired of, bro? Tell me. Sadness from Slovakia. What is it? Is it just like the constant bear market? Because I get it, bro. I really get it if that's what you mean. Performance Fuel Injection says Bloody Monday. We'll see, bro. We'll see. There definitely could be a Bloody Monday. Let's take a look at that. Jimmy H from the UK says he's from North Wales, Anglesey. I don't know if I said that right. You Welsh people are a bit weird, aren't you? Love you, though. Love you. I think Wales is probably the best country in the UK. It's got to be. It's got to be one of the coolest for sure. Medicine Man, been following Four Flies for a while, always dropping valid gems of knowledge. Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. As you are coming in, ladies and gents, do me a favor and smash those likes. So we got 200 viewers in the house. Let's get this up to 50, 100 likes, whatever we can do. Bullish from Cape Town. What's up, Colin? 𝐂𝐥𝐿𝐧, this seems bullish. Norway feeling poor. Rave Song Records saying bull long term. Me too, man. Still definitely bullish long term. Wales have the best seasides, hands down. They do. And hill country as well. Really, really good out there. Riding the roller coaster with Sammy from Australia. What's up, Jazz? How you doing, man? Got I can't say your name. I'm gonna call you Jay from Nigeria. Nick is cautiously optimistic. Honestly, me too. Honestly. Martin Scott. Yo, Sammy, thanks for the videos. Here from Cape Town. What's up, Cape Town? Wales buying. Yep. Good stuff, guys. Good stuff. As we're going on, let me know as you are tuning in where you're watching from and how you feel. And make sure you smash those likes up, ladies and gents. First live stream in a little bit of time. Thank you all for tuning in with me. Bitcoin is now sitting at $79,800. It has dipped down below this sideways range. We were basically talking about how, look, we've got this range right here. If we lose it, then the chance of sweeping these lows becomes very high. And so we've now lost it. And as you can see, we've really intensified. We didn't really penetrate below this level very much at all. But as soon as we kind of lost it, you could say that the support was probably, like up here, somewhere in the middle of the box. We're now down by about, nearly 2%, and it's happened, honestly, quite quickly. So we're definitely, looking a little bit shaky at this stage. And the question is, does this turn into something that sweeps these highs? Sweeps these lows, or is it just going to be another fake out that kind of puts us back in the range? And, I think one of the biggest points of speculation right now in this market is the after hours trading. And if we go for S&P 500 after hours trading, we are seeing this data change a little bit, but right here on CNN, which is, broadly going to be similar to the rest if I'm not mistaken, but someone can correct me on that if I'm wrong. We are seeing a 50.96 reading on the S&P 500, which is actually higher than where it closed. So there is an implied bounce on Monday's open right now. We will dive into the specifics on that a little bit later on in this live stream. Thank you all for tuning in, by the way, ladies and gents. Smash those likes up if you're excited for this calm, collected voice. Mad cool, see it as you're saying in the live chat. If you're excited for a calm, collected voice here in this market, maybe you shouldn't be excited. Maybe that's the point. But if you're happy about it, nonetheless, smash them up, ladies and gents. Really helps push these live streams out so we can do more of them here on this YouTube channel. I love doing them. I actually, if it were up to me, I would only do live streams. But, you know, if they're not, you know, reaching the right amount of people, then, you know, there's no point. We got Aniko saying he's bullish for his kids and grandkids, but implying that he's not bullish for himself. That's funny. The faster we drop lower and consolidate, the faster we start to move up. You're 100% correct. We got some based viewers in the live chat today, ladies and gentlemen. You guys are pretty based today. I like that. I like that. A couple of names that I don't think I've seen as well. What's my price prediction in the next 24 hours? Who the hell knows, bro? I don't know. That's a big question. We'll dive into that. But if you're asking questions like that, I don't know, dude, probably not suitable for this channel. It's just, you're probably a little bit too kind of short-term oriented, not asking the right kind of question. You can't ask questions like that as a trader. You just can't. It's not really going to help you. How far was Solana dropped today? That's another example of a question that, you know, is really just kind of dangerous to ask. It's not that it's a bad question to ask. It's that if you're asking the question, you're probably just not right in the head in terms of a trader, right? You're probably thinking a little bit more like retail, and that's going to hurt you. So that's kind of, that's my take there. Not one whale is selling, only newbies. It feels like that, doesn't it? We need to see some data on that to confirm that, but it does certainly feel like that. But here's the S&P 500, and obviously, you know, I think one of the big concerns is that this turns into, you know, a 1929 style, like, you know, it just fucking just rips and, you know, takes us significantly lower. Honestly, no matter what happens, it'll be a good thing. You know, one of the things that I think is very, very clear that, you know, people just really don't talk about, because, I don't know, maybe you're not supposed to talk about it because everyone's supposed to hate Trump right now. That's the current programming, but you know, the fact of the matter is, we could say this while Biden was in power, and I'll say it now that he's not in power as well. The economy was kind of strung on opium that was not sustainable to keep feeding into the economy for a long time. Now we're waking up. We've got a little bit of a hangover. That's exactly what's happening right now. Along those same lines, you guys know that I like to shitpost on Twitter a little bit. You know, what we have right here, I think is a really, really big deal. Everybody's fascinated by history, but they hate being a part of it. We are a part of history right now. Things are shaking up. Things are changing a little bit. The markets are dropping because of it. And honestly, quite frankly, if I sat down with every single one of you a couple of months ago, a year ago, 2 years ago, we all would have had the exact same conversation about the economy being in a bad place. It's not sustainable. It's not safe. It's going to collapse. It's going to be really, really dangerous. Now something is being done about it, and everyone's getting their panties twisted in a knot, all right? That's exactly what's happening, ladies and gents. And if you're not in that camp, then congratulations to you, because you are able to sift through the bullshit right now, right? I mean, just the amount of shit that's happened in the last 2 weeks that has revealed how stupid people are in these markets is astonishing. Like, I knew people were stupid. I guess it's just weird to see it in front of you. But just the complete lack of perspective, the blatant displays of no level of education or understanding of how the economy works by absolutely everybody, including economists. Me writing right here that economists are consistently the most stupid people when it comes to the economy. We got Jay right here saying that he's never seen any of these economists that they put on news be right about anything. And he's saying that there's a lesson in there, all right? So if you like my shit post on Twitter, go ahead and check it out. It's linked in the description down below. Very quickly, we got Gary Stevenson, a question about Gary Stevenson right here. I was basically saying that I agree with almost all of his sentiment, but I disagree with all of his solutions. He asked me what I suggest, and my answer was very straightforward. It's always been the same answer. If you have a free economy with low taxes, deregulation, you're going to have more jobs, more investment flowing in, more people would be incentivized to do and be great. There's actually a lot more than that. I just couldn't think of it off the top of my head. It's really, really easy. All you got to do is look at the USA pre-2000s, or maybe even like, I don't know, 1980s or whatever, maybe even much further back. UAE from Independence Day right up to the present day. Singapore, there's so many examples of countries that have done this right. They just follow these basic principles. Have a free economy, don't regulate it too much, have low taxes, incentivize people to do business. business people will always be better than governments at anything that a government can try to do. Unfortunately, yes, that even applies to healthcare, and I say that as somebody my mum was saved, her life was saved by the NHS in England, and I still understand that is an inefficient system. Okay, I actually think that she got lucky that she got treatment as quickly as she did, and honestly, a lot of people don't get that, and that is a flaw that you see with governments providing stuff, quite frankly. I mean, I would prefer if the government could do it properly. God bless the NHS. I completely agree. I love the NHS. I wouldn't have a mum if it weren't for them. We couldn't afford health insurance. What are you talking about? Like, we were poor. So, I'm totally, like, I wish it worked well, but it just doesn't. The truth is it doesn't. And if we can eliminate, if we can trim the fat in these kind of government programs, then we're good, right? But that's realistically, not really going to happen very easily. So that's my kind of take on this stuff. Check me out on Twitter if you like the shit posting. It's all right there. But bringing it back to the market, ladies and gents, very, very clearly we are in quite a substantial drop right now for the S&P 500. Bitcoin held up pretty well, and if we kind of throw the S&P 500 on top of Bitcoin right now, we can see that the S&P 500 kind of started its drop a little bit earlier than Bitcoin. It really started to dip over here. Now I have a couple of problems with the kind of decoupling narrative, and I've kind of expressed this a little bit already, but I do want to go a little bit deeper on this. There is a sentiment going around right now. By the way, smash up the likes if you're just tuning in, ladies and gents. I want to get this thing above 100 for this live stream, and we can dive into some really exciting stuff where we can hit some other cool milestones on those likes as well. Really do appreciate all the support. It's a little click for you goes a long way for us. If you don't want to do it, completely fine, obviously. But here's the thing. My issue with this narrative about Bitcoin kind of decoupling from the S&P 500 and being independent of it when a crash happens is that if those statements were true, then we shouldn't have seen Bitcoin topping out at the same time as the S&P 500, right? Bitcoin set its all-time high over here, S&P set its all-time high, or actually over here, but broadly speaking, in similar places. There was already some level of decoupling, but not in a good way. So SPX trades up and Bitcoin trades down, definitely not kind of fulfilling the prophecies that everybody wants to say Bitcoin's fulfilling. And mind you, this was literally only 2 months ago or less, depending on where you're measuring this from. So I don't think we've really decoupled yet. All I think and look at this one right here, right? I mean, it's just so consistent that Bitcoin, just basically tops out at the same time as the S&P 500. The only thing that changed is that S&P 500 fell below all of its lows. Look at these purple lines here. It fell below all of these lows, and Bitcoin didn't, right? Bitcoin is doing it now, and this is basically, this is effectively how long? Nearly 4 days late, right? Basically is what we're seeing. It's nearly about 4 days late to drop, but it is dropping. Now look, this is not a complete kind of price move yet, and this actually I think really has some very real potential to bounce kind of anywhere above 78 is totally a bounce zone for Bitcoin. Honestly, even down to the low at 76, maybe even slightly lower. All of these things are possible for Bitcoin to bounce because Bitcoin's characteristic has not been to have confirmed breakouts, right? Every time it looks like there's a confirmed breakout, these things tend to get walked back much more often than they actually play out. And that to me heavily implies that, if you're getting really scared and really bearish and really worried about the market at this stage, those worries might be misplaced just because of how Bitcoin tends to walk back all of these kind of fake outs so consistently. I mean, it did it with this range as well. All we have to do is draw our support lines a little bit higher, and this makes complete sense, right? But obviously we had to adjust them lower because of all of the fake outs, precisely because of all of the fake outs. But I think that's a really important thing to keep in mind is that, number one, Bitcoin is still basically moving with the S&P 500, and so it hasn't really decoupled. Look, I would love to tell you because, obviously I hold Bitcoin and it's my biggest holding that, I would love to tell you that I think Bitcoin is decoupling and the stock market is crashing and, the economy is about to go in the gutter, but Bitcoin's good. Like, I would love to be able to say that on YouTube right now, but I just don't think it's true. I don't think that we're there yet. I think that the evidence overwhelmingly suggests that Bitcoin is still tied to risk-on markets. And this is just a coincidence. And by the way, if you've been watching this channel for the last couple of years, shout out to those of you that are subscribed, this decoupling argument, we might have actually made a dedicated video on it, but if we didn't, we certainly have discussed it in depth many, many times over these years. And every time I've said the same thing. Every time I've said, look, Hopefully it happens, but so far it hasn't. I've told you that there have been so many instances where Bitcoin temporarily decoupled, maybe for a couple of days, couple of weeks, maybe even a month or even more, but for the most part, that correlation always comes back. And I don't see why it wouldn't come back, right? I think, there's two ways we can view Bitcoin, right? The first way we can view Bitcoin is that it is a safe haven, it is a hedge, it is better than, whatever. And if that's the case, then it should be tracking gold. And it's fucking not tracking gold because gold is setting all-time highs and Bitcoin isn't, okay? So it's definitely not tracking gold. The second argument that you can say is that it's a risk-on asset, it's a tech thing. If Nvidia's going up, if Tesla's going up, if Apple's going up, if the S&P 500's going up, if people have a good investment appetite, then Bitcoin goes up. And that is where all of the evidence still points to. All of the evidence, with limited exceptions, and you're not smart for pointing out exceptions. So that's the problem that I have with this, right? Like, on an emotional level, on a personal level, because I like you guys, I want to tell you that that's not the case. But then I would be lying. Like everybody else in the market right now is lying to you. I would be lying, okay? And you know that you're not going to get that out of me. So, that's why I actually think that, we're still kind of dealing with the same issues that have been present in the market for a while. Now, that doesn't mean that, this has to turn into a massive sweeping the floor type event for Bitcoin. Bitcoin could definitely hold strong here. I'm just saying that I don't see the evidence to suggest that that's going to happen. And the fact that we've already broken this level is not a good sign, right? I'm just keeping it super logical right now, right? Without bringing any biases in. I'm going to bring biases in because, as you know, we need to be 100% objective with our analysis, but the only way we can make money is by being 100% subjective, okay? If you're objective all the time, you'll never take a trade, okay? So you need to be subjective eventually. So I'll bring that in later on in the live stream as you guys smash those likes up. Thank you all very much, by the way. We got 600 viewers in the house. Let me know, as usual, because I haven't actually seen the chat for a couple of minutes, where you're watching from today and how you feel. Are you feeling bullish or bearish? Let me know in the live chat just where you're watching from and are you bullish or bearish? And as you're doing that, ladies and gents, do me a favor and smash up those likes. We can push this stream out. I can go for as long as you guys want me on stream today. Any questions you guys have, we can go through every single question. Open book today, ladies and gents, just like every single time. We got Qatar in the house. What's up, man? Qatar feeling bearish. We got Norway. We got North Macedonia bearish for a couple of days. Where are you guys from today? Where are you watching? Where are you watching from? How you feeling? Medicine Man says, I wonder how Bitcoin react to BRICS being a new player. BRICS seems almost completely powerless so far, but we'll see how that goes. Give me that. I don't believe these narratives of people, getting really excited about the US basically committing financial suicide. I just think it's silly. I think that what the world has is a lot of US hate. Because I don't know, like, you want to see the big guy fail kind of thing. I honestly think that that's like a really big part of what's happening. Because I know I speak to my friends that are, from outside of the, outside of the US that are, like, obviously, like, in the Middle East, there's a lot of people, that, have never been to America, and they're saying stuff like, America's not going to be able to survive the next couple of years of tariffs. And it's like, dude, like, America's a self-sustaining economy in large part. It's not completely self-sustaining, but way more than you think. They can do business with themselves. They could produce energy, they could produce food, they could produce cars. They can do everything in and among themselves. It's just more expensive than getting it from another country. That's really the difference. But if that, and that's why I think it's quite silly, all of this like US focused hate. You can hate America, you can do whatever the fuck you like. I honestly don't think it's, it's not my business, nobody business, what you feel about a certain country. But if that hate leads you to just have illogical conclusions, if that hate leads you to literally just see things wrong, see things in a way that they're not, I don't think anyone here hates America. I think a lot of people hate America. I would disagree, and especially after what Trump is doing. Canada doesn't even like America in large part, right? Like, so there's a lot, like, its own neighbors don't like the U.S. or specifically the White House, whatever you want to call it. Maybe the government, right? People broadly, I don't know. You'd have to be kind of racist or fucked in the head if you don't like citizens, but for the most part, people don't dislike governments. They don't dislike people, right? And but even then, I think that if that negative feeling is leading you to conclusions that are just wrong, then, you're in a day, like, you're trying to, like, if you're watching this, you're in the markets, right? Like, you're trying to do something with your what's up, Ryan? How you doing, mate? You're trying to do something with the markets, right? Like, you got to keep a realistic perspective of this stuff. But here we are. Before we continue on that political stuff, 78.6. We are basically now at one of the key invalidation points. I think if Bitcoin falls below this, it's going to get a lot harder for this to recover in terms of being a fake out. We've also got Bitcoin's dominance now sitting at 63.1. It is retracing by a little bit. We've got Ethereum basically collapsing through its floor right here at 0.2 BTC per token. Smash up the likes for this level-headed analysis, ladies and gents, if you are finding this useful so far. We are going to keep it super calm, super level-headed the entire live stream. We're watching the crash happen, but we're not going to get emotional about any of this, and we're going to stay absolutely locked in with all of this stuff, ladies and gents. Let's see where you guys are watching from and how you feel. We got Vegas feeling very bullish for the next couple of months. Beautiful stuff. Love that. We got Serbia, Canada, what's up, Holland here. Ethereum is maximum pain. Let's take a look at Ethereum. It's at $1,600 right now. And it is bouncing up right now. It's collapsed below this, honestly, quite important level of support. But, you know, it's got more support, you know, just slightly below it, apparently. So, you know, it's still fine. Ethereum, yeah, it's probably pretty painful, isn't it? From the high that it's set, it's now down by 60%. By comparison, Bitcoin is now down by 28%. And this is still not a significant pullback for Bitcoin. This is still very much in line with what you would expect a pullback to look like for Bitcoin inside of a bull market. You know, it's really worth noting at this point. Perhaps some of you haven't been subscribed for particularly long, so you haven't heard me saying this. We got San Jose feeling bullish. Buy. Love it, man. Love it. You know, what we've got here is, you know, a market that regularly, you know, as a characteristic of itself has had, you know, quite intense pullbacks within bull markets. So if we can say that, you know, for example, this bull market started roughly, what have I done? Roughly about over here, then we can start measuring pullbacks. And, you know, it doesn't look like it, but, you know, this was a 40% pullback from high to low. This was a 25, which is about where we are now. This was a 39, which is basically 40%. This was 35, which is bigger than now. This was 35, which is bigger than now. 40% bigger than now. 40% bigger than now. You know, just consistently, every pullback, 28% equivalent to where we are right now. You know, next bull market, if we can say that the next bull market starts at roughly around here, let's look at our significant pullbacks. This one wasn't significant, but let's measure it anyway. That's 11%. This one was significant. We're down by 25%. That's what we're doing right now. Bull market kind of ends over here, restarts over here. And what are we looking at in terms of pullbacks? So no significant pullbacks other than maybe this one, and this one isn't even significant. That's 20%. Let's look at take a look at this one right here. That's another 20%, 16%, actually not that steep at all. Here's a nice significant correction. This is a 32%, bigger than what we're looking at right now. And then obviously here's another one, 55% down to the lows. You know, again, quite large, and we still end up trending higher. Again, inside of that same market cycle, we're down by 25%, which is roughly the kind of correction that we have right now. Okay, so the data is overwhelmingly clear. A 28% correction is very, 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 very much in line with what Bitcoin does inside of bull markets. And actually that this can extend quite far down. This can go by 40% down. This can even go down by 50%. And we could still very much be inside of a bull market. So I think we're doing incredibly well for that perspective. I think the fact that, you know, this drop, even though it looks like it's coming late and, you know, whether or not it sticks, the fact that it's taken so much time after traditional finance is also a sign of strength in and of itself, even though we've been debating that. We're going to come back to debating that as this live stream continues on. Smash up the likes, ladies and gents. We got 1,000 viewers in the house. Let's get the, if we can get this thing up to 250, I'm thinking 250 to 500. I don't know how ambitious I'm feeling today. Feeling a little bit. Let's go for 300. If we get this thing up to 300 likes, I'm going to show you a really nice super secret chart. That's not so much of a secret anymore, but probably many of you guys still don't know about it. So smash them up if you are excited for that. Let's see what we're feeling in the live chat as well as we carry on. We got Andrew saying paper hands, people. Kamara is saying keep crashing, time to buy. What else we got here? We got Brazil in the house. What's going on, Brazil? Ethereum is on sale and Ethereum is dead. Two opposing perspectives there. We got CT USA. What is CT? Is that Connecticut? Did I say that right? Vancouver. What's up, Vancouver? How you doing? CA in the house. What's up, guys? I'm never selling. We'll hodl until zero. Never. Me too, dude. Me too. Honestly, I'm kind of in the same place as you. Ponzi scheme crash. There we go. Those are some of the keywords that we want to see. ETH BTC looking like a graveyard of exit liquidity. It looks like a chart that's literally bottoming right now. It looks like a chart that's like bottoming now. Not on like a micro scale, but on a large scale, it looks like a chart that's bottoming. Or is very close to bottoming, right? Because like now you're basically dropping like a stone. It's about kind of measuring, like, you know, previously we're dropping, you know, somewhat slowly, somewhat controlled. Then it kind of speeds up, and then, you know, whatever, it's a little bit more controlled, but now it's speeding up, and then it's speeding up even more, and now it's like basically fucking vertical. So, you know, once you're vertical, you kind of can't do that for long. You can do it, you know, for a large percentage move, but not for a long period of time, typically. So I think it actually looks really, 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 really good at this stage. Like, again, this could take, you know, days or weeks to play out, even now. But my point is that, you know, I don't, like, put it this way. Like, here, I would say that, you know, obviously now with the gift of hindsight, that we have a long way left to go. Here, I can't say the same thing. That's my point. So I think Ethereum's looking really, really good. Bro, there's no bottom on crypto? Of course not, yeah. Well, this is what I said. This is the sentiment. Why does the UK government hate crypto so much? Because they're a bunch of fucking idiots, bro. They're a bunch of fucking idiot socialists. That's what they are. But... yeah, what was your question? Yeah, there's no bottom on crypto. This is the thing. This is my point, right? Like, as we start to get more of the sentiment, and as it starts to get popular, and then you get somebody like me saying, guys, this is normal, this is standard procedure, we do this all the time, it's happened in every single market cycle so far, I don't know why you would expect that this happens differently today. When you get people like me replying with that, and then, you know, the broader crypto community saying, no, fuck you, we're going to zero, everything's crashing, everything, you know, whatever, like, you gotta get that sentiment. You know, when that sentiment becomes extreme enough, that's kind of, you know, when you're done. You know, that's when those people will sell. They will sell into the hands of people that are more. It's the same thing. More people that are more patient than them. It's the same shit that we've seen play out a million times. It's happening again in front of us right now. Selling a kidney at 73K. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of like that's gonna be where I think a lot of people are gonna be, you know, really interested in buying it. And I think this is actually one of my bigger points as well with Bitcoin specifically is, you know, like, it hasn't even hit some of its best levels yet. It's just like what we have. And it's like I said, you really, there's two ways you can look at this, right? The first way you can look at this is the way that you're looking at it right now while digesting the news, Bloomberg, whatever, CNBC, whatever else you're reading. The other way that you can look at this is, like, literally block Twitter out, block Telegram, Discord, WhatsApp group chats, iMessage group chats out, and just look at the raw price data, okay? And the raw price data says that Bitcoin loves its retracements. Bitcoin loves its pullbacks inside of bull markets. And, you know, obviously we know that one of the best retracement levels for Bitcoin is always going to be that kind of 61866 golden pocket for Bitcoin. And that level sits beautifully right here between 70,300 and 72,800. Sits beautifully right here, ladies and gents. Really quite a fantastic buy zone. A 618 retracement level here, just absolutely fantastic for Bitcoin to fall down to. We haven't even hit this level yet. It's the previous all-time high. It remains untested. You know, I think that it's fine to retest it. You know, there's different schools of thought. You know, some people say that, you know, if Bitcoin is weak enough to come down here, then, you know, it's not weak enough to go back up. And I actually agree with that. I can understand why people would say that. But I just don't think that the data fully agrees with that. Like, Bitcoin does actually quite consistently kind of come back to, you know, back test previous levels. Look at this right here, right? I mean, I didn't draw that particularly clearly, but if we just kind of zoom into this right here, look at this. We kind of top out right here, get that kiss of life, and then off we go, right? So this is actually, you know, like, quite normal. Like, this is really, really very normal, you know, to happen. Sometimes we kind of overshoot it a little bit, you know, like, that's also totally normal. And none of these things have happened yet. So I honestly, this is why I'm saying that I think that the best opportunities kind of haven't even come yet, which is, you know, really quite exciting. One of the very, very cool things about all of this is that if you're not already signed up to one of these platforms in the description below, you're going to get a ton of free cash when you start trading using these links. And you can deploy that cash back into the market any way that you like. So it's well worth taking. Many of you have already taken advantage of it, and compared to those who haven't, they are ahead. They've gotten, you know, an extra 1,000 or an extra 30,000 or whatever in between or less, you know, in their account compared to you, the guy who hasn't taken advantage of this yet. So check it out if you are interested. These are pretty well respected exchanges. There's a lot of alternatives as well, but these are the links that give you some quite heavy bonuses when you start trading using these links below. All you got to do is deposit and trade. But bear in mind, this is not allowed for certain countries, so only if you're not from a restricted region. Those of you that also want to get into our exclusive one-to-one program, we've had incredible success out of this. I mean, absolutely everybody that's gotten in has paid off the fee many times over through savings or aggression, meaning profits, which is really, really very, very impressive. It is very serious. It is very intense. And it is expensive. But if those things kind of, align with you and you're okay with that, then reach out using this link down below. If not, there's more free content right here. I put a 10-minute analysis piece into this 𝐁𝐥𝐽𝐳 Telegram channel a couple of days ago. And if you're not in that free channel, you've missed it. So check out those links if you haven't done so already. But bringing it back to the market here, 79K right now. If we zoom in and take a look at what's happened, it looks like Bitcoin has managed to produce a little bit of a bounce. I think what we'll do, as we do on some of these high volatility days, is we'll just go ahead and put Bitcoin on the side right here with a very, very short-term chart, so we can just kind of like be junkies about it and see what's going on a very, very small time frame, and kind of satisfy that itch. So hopefully you can kind of, get an idea of what the market's doing just from this chart. Very, very nicely tucked away on the side. And then we can continue to, be adults about it on slightly larger time frames like this. And it looks like so far there's a little bit of a bounce. I wouldn't read into this at all right now. I think that, this could still go either way. If we sweep this level, I think it would be very hard to recover, and we're probably coming back down towards 70. But it's like I said, if we look at the kind of S&P 500 after hours, it's still looking like it's going to open in the green. So I don't really know what this crash is. It could literally just be a delayed effect. It's happened so many times before, and it's probably, I think it's going to keep on happening. I haven't fully been there. Shout out to Molly B saying smash the likes. I haven't fully been there for a while. Man, it's hot. I haven't fully been there for a while in terms of kind of thinking that, Bitcoin is decoupling. Like I said, I do need to see a little bit more, kind of evidence and data to prove that to me. 100 more likes, ladies and gents. I put that super cool, super secret chart on if you're excited for that. Definitely do that. And we might even do a giveaway. I did get a suggestion. Somebody told me that if we can hit like 500 likes, we can start doing giveaways. So maybe we do that. We'll see how this goes. Probably would have to do that live on stream, and I'd have to figure out how that works. But yeah, so there's a little bit of a bounce for Bitcoin right now. Now here's the thing, this level could serve as resistance for Bitcoin. If it does, you're cooked, and we're going down. It's really going to be a very bad situation. But if Bitcoin is able to recover above this level, then it turns into support again, and we can basically start expecting these highs to start being hit again as well. So that's going to be pretty exciting. Yeah, lows, like I said, kind of 72 all the way down to about 69, 70, would totally make sense. If we drop lower than that, there's even more support. There's a lot of support in this entire range. So, I think Bitcoin's, pretty good almost no matter where it goes, whether it goes down or up. If it goes up, then, good. We get to resume things a little bit faster. And if it goes down, then even better because, and I've been saying this for a while, I didn't think we would really come down to these lows, but, obviously now it's looking a little bit more likely. But I always said that that's what I prefer. And the reason that I prefer it is, and by the way, look at this. We're just kind of coiling up, potentially getting ready for another down move right here. This is a very, very typical kind of, something like that. I mean, this is only on the 1 minute time frame, so that analysis is very much subject to change. But when no broccoli head, I don't know. I'm going for a much more grown out hairstyle here, and I'm just committed. I'm so far into it now that like this shit is like ridiculously long. So I'm so far into it now that I'm probably just gonna stick to it, I think. But yeah, so I, like I said, I mean, this would be a really, really good level for Bitcoin. Lower, it's just a big cushion of support for Bitcoin, quite frankly. And the low that Bitcoin set is down here at 49. So as long as we don't drop below that, we're good. We're still going to be maintaining market structure, which is ultimately the most important thing, maybe even the only important thing, I would dare to say, but I don't know. We kind of did it last time, right? Like we set this low right here, and then we basically fell down to the same lows. On a macro level, we didn't really sweep any of these lows, and especially if you look at this on, for example, the weekly time frame, Bitcoin really just held up quite well at this range, and most importantly, it did not set a lower low from last time, right? You could argue that the low was here, and we didn't sweep that low on any of these lows right here, and that's why Bitcoin was able to keep going up. So this is my point, and this is why I get, a little bit frustrated by how stupid many people are in this market. There's a lot of evidence to show you that, we're good, even if we drop by a lot more. And I don't know, people just don't, like, it doesn't seem to go. I think it's probably, look at that, we're starting to get that drop right now. So let's see if it sweeps this low, we're probably coming down to the next one. If it sweeps that low at 78.6, then, things could get really, really bad for Bitcoin. So we'll see. This is quite a significant deal if Bitcoin breaks these levels, so it might happen slowly here, if it happens at all. But yeah, I think that's a really big thing. Probably one of the main reasons that people can't see this is because they're just way too overinvested in these markets, to be able to have any level of kind of detachment and sobriety in the market, and that is ultimately going to be really very, very dangerous for a lot of market participants. So I think that's important. Start dropping your questions in here, ladies and gents. I want to go through your questions. We're going to talk a little bit more about traditional finance and other altcoins as well. We haven't really looked at altcoins too much so far in this video. Look at this. Solana's down to 107. My goodness, Solana against Bitcoin is... It's in a bad place. Cardano against Bitcoin's in a very, very, very bad place right now. Here's XRP. It's down. What is going on with XRP? How is it holding this range? It looks like it's about to lose this range. I think it's going to lose this. I don't know how it's going to keep this range. If Bitcoin stays below 80, I don't see how XRP is keeping this, and it's going to be a big drop. It's going to be a big drop, I think. Potentially. I mean, it could just be a fake out, but this is bad. I mean, you're getting, since that high, you're getting lower highs, with this exception actually, lower highs, and you're coming down to support more regularly. I mean, previously when you hit support, when we broke out, there was like a 10-day gap to the next hit of support, and then another 9-day gap, and then a 9-day gap. Then we had a nice big gap. This one took about 24 days. I mean, between this and this, it was actually 35, then 24. But now look, it's speeding up. Now we got 11 days right here. We're coming down, and now look, we're dealing with like a 4-day gap down to this support level. So really a bad position for XRP right now if it's not able to hold on to this level. XRP against Bitcoin is actually looking quite a bit better. And this is actually, I think, what paints the picture that XRP could have a little bit of a fake out instead of a real breakout. Because XRP against Bitcoin could just come back down here and get another bounce. Totally doable. Very, very much makes sense. And, for XRP BTC to come down here, that probably represents like a 73, 72, 70K Bitcoin. So very much within the realms of possibility that XRP holds onto its power against Bitcoin right now. From a fundamental perspective with the SEC cases and so on, I think that also makes complete sense as well. So there is, a lot going in XRP's favor right now, but it is a chart that is worsened, and there's really, it's hard to debate that right now. Should you short XRP on 100x? I don't know. Should you play five finger fillet with your fingers and a knife? I don't know. Maybe, right? Like you do you, bro. I'm not gonna tell you what to do. Look at this right here. Really very, very clear coiling up on Bitcoin right now, potentially getting ready to sweep that low and take it much, much lower here. So that's definitely going to be something to continue to watch out for here in this market. Let's look at Trumpcoin real quick. It's now down to $8. It's almost like it tracks as approval rating in a sense, doesn't it? Trumpcoin is quite straightforward. It's going to produce a bounce at some point that comes up to test some of its macro resistance. $10 is a pretty obvious level that I can see Trumpcoin returning down to. That's going to be a short. Obviously, it can wick so much higher than that, which makes shorting quite dangerous. But there is a potential trade over there as well. Sammy, do I reckon I'm good with a liquidation position of 50K? These are hard questions for us. Look at this. Bitcoin's starting to dip right now. That's 78.8 right now. It swept some of those lows. It's intensifying. What's going on with Bitcoin right now on the minute time frame? Is this about to start getting... Look at this relentless sell-off right here. Look at this absolutely relentless sell-off right here. Trumpcoin is done. I don't think so, dude. I think Trumpcoin's going to be okay later on, but it's gonna require a broader kind of crypto and stock market recovery. Liquidation at 50, like shit. Like, I mean, it's an impossible question. But, I think one of the things that really is important, much more important than your question, is do you want to be in a long position right now, right? Like, that's ultimately the only question worth asking. It's not about, if your liquidation is at a certain level, because that doesn't matter to the market, right? Like, what matters to the market is if it's bullish or bearish from the current price. And, depending on that answer, you can kind of take it from there. But I don't think we're going down to 50K, dude. I would be very surprised. I mean, if we do go down to 50K, it probably means that the market's, dead. But like I said, I mean, 49K was the low to beat, and Bitcoin basically matched those lows in the previous market cycle. Very, very clearly, right? It matched the lows over here, which would be the equivalent of Bitcoin falling down to 50K now. And it was still bullish. So, it definitely, is not a be-all, end-all, or a particularly scary or concerning thing in the market, in my opinion. Ladies and gents, if you are enjoying this analysis so far, if you appreciate the kind of level-headed nature of this, you're watching Bitcoin crash, you're watching the S&P 500 crash, you're looking at a 1929 style crash tomorrow, potentially. We'll talk about that as well in this live stream. If you are enjoying this so far, then do me a favor and smash those likes up, and double check, of course, that you are subscribed to the YouTube channel. This is consistently what you're going to be getting as the market continues to play out. You're going to be getting a very, very level-headed, sensible, sane approach to the markets, and you're going to get it every single time. Every single time. You're going to get it every single time on this YouTube channel. That's what happens. That's what we do here. So if that sounds like something that, you kind of vibe with a little bit, then definitely smash them up and double-check that you are subscribed as well to this YouTube channel. Let's see what questions we've got here in the live chat as we continue on here. What am I shorting, Sammy, from Sean? Am I shorting everything? I'm not shorting anything, to be honest, dude. I'm not really interested in shorts right now in this range. I think that the risk is a little bit high at this stage right now for shorts. And it's also unpredictable, right? Like with Trump, kind of potentially changing his mind. And, there's really nothing saying that, Trump is going to take tariffs off for a large, proportion of countries. In the next couple of days or weeks, right? There's really nothing saying that he won't do that. I don't actually think he will. I think he's going to keep it for a while because this is leverage. It looks like he's doing the same thing with the Ukraine-Russian war as well, right? Like, it's almost like, a message that he's sending of like, don't fuck with me. If you don't do things exactly the way that I want you to, then you will suffer. And it's basically just a big, strong guy saying whether you agree or disagree or find it right or wrong is really secondary to my point. My point is that it looks like this is what's going on right now, and so that that is going to buy you a lot of leverage if you're negotiating. I don't think that the U.S. right now with its White House feels an obligation to be nice to the rest of the world. And if they don't feel an obligation to be nice, then they can just really leverage whatever they want in negotiations, and that looks like that's what they're doing right now, like really squeezing the fuck out of the international community in order to get things the way that they want. Ultimately, this is how negotiations work. You're talking about Donald Trump, one of the best negotiators in the world. He literally wrote The Art of the Deal, or if he didn't write it, it was, about him. I think that there is an overwhelming likelihood that, that's kind of what he's going for right now. There's another discussion you can have about, what that means for the markets, but that's kind of a slightly different topic. Stephanie is saying the selling just doesn't stop. Good Lord, it doesn't, but it's also completely okay. It's completely okay and normal. People have this really, really silly belief that, we must always produce a chart that looks like this, right? Or that looks like this. And that's just not going to fucking happen. It's just not going to happen. And if you're not okay with that, then you probably shouldn't be in the market. Most people shouldn't be in the market. We got 1,100 viewers, and I'm going to be the first one to tell you guys straight to your face that many of you shouldn't be trading. Probably more than half of you should not be trading, right? Like, because this shit is like, it's tripping you out. It's getting you scared. It's ruining your sleep. It's, it's fucking up your day. Like, if that's happening to you, then you're not built for this market. You're not built for this market. You can't take it. And if you can't take it, you're going to lose money. You're going to make stupid decisions. You're going to put your money in the wrong place. You're going to revenge trade. It's going to be nasty. It's going to be really, really bad for you. So most of you people in that camp must quit. If you value your financial safety, you don't really have another choice. Now, here's the catch. The catch with all of this is that I also used to be like that. Many of you guys watching this who are not in that 50% or whatever also used to be like that. And that is a mindset thing that you can change. But you're not going to change it if you want to keep your attitudes the same. If you want to be upset at the market, if you want to be upset at Trump or tariffs or inflation or the, Federal Reserve, like these things are not going to change your reality. Okay? So if that's how you want to be, then you can be a scapegoat, but that stuff is typically best reserved for the ballot boxes. Okay, it's not reserved for the markets, because the markets won't have any sympathy for you. The ballot boxes might, if you're lucky. The markets certainly won't. Okay, so if you want to be in this game, you're gonna have to change the way you think about it if these things upset you, because otherwise you're just leading yourself into more losses. We don't want to go there. We don't want to feel that pain. Okay, so there is a way to do this without feeling pain. There is a way to do this without losing your mind over the markets. And typically, if you're looking for like, okay, Sammy, what are the practical steps? Most of the time, put less money in the market, okay? If you're over-invested, then that's your fucking problem. You're going to keep on paying for that, okay? Put less money in the market. That's number one. Number two, study what you're doing. Number three, keep a trading journal. Honestly, like, just leave my fucking live stream right now. Like, that's good enough. Just, you got your 3 points. Put less money in the markets. What was the other one? I forgot the second one. And then trading journal. Trading journal is the most important one. And honestly, you could just leave the live stream right now, and you can just be done. You could just be done. And if you just do that, you're good. Because if you're keeping a trading journal, then you will be analyzing the number one flaw in your trading system, which is you. Ladies and gents, you are the number one flaw in your trading system. And when you journal what you're doing, you will start policing yourself. And when you start policing yourself, your mistakes will cease to happen, or they will cease to happen in that frequency, and you'll be in a much better place. That is a real truth, Brom. And like I said, that is what you can expect to get every single time you tune into this YouTube channel. Smash up likes for that. Double check that you are subscribed. You're absolute legends if you do appreciate that. And like I said, if you want to get into our one-to-one program, which will turn all of this into much more actionable stuff, then you can find that link in the description down below to reach out for information. Like I said, it is an expensive, intense, serious program, but so far incredible 100% success. It's not going to stay 100%. There is going to be a massive failure that walks through and takes this program, but so far that hasn't happened, and it has gone incredibly well. So you can reach out with that step right here in the description if you want to get access to it, and free cash on exchanges as well when you sign up using these links. Check them out. All you have to do is start trading using these links. If you're not from a restricted region, you can pause the video right now or do this in another tab and get your bonuses. Really cool stuff here. Absolute truth bombs, ladies and gents. That's what we're doing right here. That's what this is all about. That's what we got here in the live chat. You're 100% spot on. Thank you very much. Go for a 5-mile walk and clear the cobwebs. Dropping to the exact amount is like telling the future. I don't know exactly what you mean there. Yeah, there we go. A lot of agreement in the live chat. I love it. You guys are based. You guys are absolutely based today. I love that. Let's bring it back to Bitcoin, and what we can see right now is there has been a little bit of a move up for Bitcoin. It did not sweep that low, which is absolutely fantastic. Like I said, we are looking at this on the 1-minute time frame, so everything's gonna have to be taken with a massive pinch of salt here. But we are starting to recover by a little bit. We're gonna need to see this be a quick, sharp recovery if we want it to stick, and if it's not quick or sharp, then we're in trouble, right? Then it's gonna be very hard to recover. So we're kind of starting to do that on the hourly. We've got a little bit of time, actually. These last couple of times, Bitcoin did mess about here, and it took about 12 hours to recover on that occasion here. It took about 19 hours, but it didn't fully recover until about a day later. So we have a little bit of time. We don't have to kind of recover this now in order to prove that this is a fake out, but we don't want it to take long either, right? The faster the better, and the slower the worse, right? If it goes slowly, then that's going to be more like if it kind of does something a little bit like this, then say goodbye. It's probably going to be dropping by quite a bit. But if that doesn't happen, then yeah, there's going to be a little bit more hope here. So I think that's pretty cool. Blue collar man saying he's laughing at all of the people that thought the bull market would go all the way into 2026. I mean, I don't even think that that's like super impossible. I think that that's still, a somewhat plausible possibility. I wouldn't rule it out, is my point. I think that, viewing these tariffs as like a 2-year curse is quite one-dimensional. And it kind of fails to read adequately what's actually going on. I don't think that that's what we're looking at, but who knows? I could be wrong, and we are due for it, right? We've been due for it for a while, but I don't really see that. And I think another big thing is it's just too many people are expecting it, right? Like there's, you know, basically everybody and their grandmother right now is telling you that you're going to get a crash in the stock market. Like, I just forgive me, I just don't believe retail when they talk shit like this. I just don't. It's not what I do, right? Like, I don't feel that retail are the people that I should be, you know, paying much attention to when they're all banging the same drums and saying the same stuff. I just don't. The tariffs will be a multi-year. When everybody is telling me this, I don't buy it. Okay, I don't see that it's going to happen that way. You know, one of the things that I would really, really have to point out is that, you know, a large part of the crash has already happened. You know, if this goes more than 20%, then yeah, you know, we're definitely in trouble. If it goes like basically more than 22% down, then there's going to be a little bit of trouble, because, you know, that means sweeping the previous all-time high, and it means reaching dictionary definitions of bear markets for the S&P 500. So that would definitely be a bad sign if the S&P 500 did crash by more than 20%. But at the same time, that happened, you know, basically like 2 years ago, and it was like almost unnoticed. You know, this was a 27% drop, so it was, you know, substantially more than a 20% drop, especially for the S&P 500. And yet, you know, the pain that was felt across this 290-day bear market was much less intense than the pain that's being felt right now. And so it's not numbers, right? It's clearly not numbers that's causing the pain. It's actually narrative, right? Like, the thing that's different right now is that there wasn't such a horrible narrative during this crash, but there is during this one, right? But the percentage drops are smaller, the price drops are smaller. You know, it's really, the big difference is just, you know, like, what are people saying about it? What is the narrative that's being spun about it? And that's my point, right? Like, and I think this is what's going to piss people off a lot is, you know, like, you'll hear me, you know, criticizing Trump, you know, quite intensely sometimes, but then you'll also hear me saying stuff like this, and it's like, you can't pin where my loyalties are, you know, because of that. And I'd say that's actually the best part. That's why I'm good at what I do. It's because I don't have loyalties. Okay, that's precisely the point. I don't have loyalties. Okay, the only thing I'm loyal to is my fucking trading account. You know, and so I'm not interested in, you know, inflating Trump if it looks like he's doing something good, or pushing him down if it looks like he's doing something bad. It's secondary to the point. Okay, I'm not even having that discussion. What I'm interested in is, how can I trade this to make money? Okay, and that requires me to have a very, very sober, objective understanding of what these markets are doing, and that is what we're discussing on this live stream today. We've just hit 300 likes, so I'm going to be bringing up that really interesting chart for you all very shortly in this live stream here. But I do think that's a really, really big deal. You know, if you're pegging your loyalties to a certain politician or a way of thinking, then by extension, you can't do both, right? Like, if you're pegging your loyalties to a person or to an idea, then you cannot simultaneously be pegging your loyalties to your own wallet. Okay, really, really big deal. You can't do both. It doesn't exist. It's not possible. You either look out for yourself or you look out for somebody else, but you ain't doing both. Okay, you're not doing both. And that's why I'm trying to keep it real with you guys, right? Like, we're not interested in getting caught up in this stuff. We just want to see where those easy opportunities to make some cash are. We don't care what else is happening. Okay, it doesn't matter. Geo, yes, you're right. That is what I'm gonna do. Let's see what we got here. Where did I learn all this knowledge about the market? By myself? Honestly, yeah, like, it was basically all self-taught, but, like, not really. I mean, I learned from books, right? Like, I bought books on Amazon, and Audible. I bought crypto courses. I paid people for mentorship. I joined group chats. I kind of did everything, but for the most part, the biggest things that taught me about, you know, the market was actually, number one, it was isolating myself from all the idiots, which is basically everybody, and stopping talking to them. That was honestly like one of the highest ROI things I did, because all of you guys are actually much smarter than you think, but you're not able to fulfill that potential of being smart because you're talking to stupid people. You know, and by extension, you're becoming stupid because of it. So I actually helped myself do that by taking myself out of these environments and not discussing these things with people. The only people I discuss the markets with now are the people internally in my own team. And it works way, 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 way better than that because they're not stupid. So that's useful. And also, yeah, it was the books, and it was learning from mistakes, and it was journaling. It was all of these things in combination. Speak with the smartest person you know yourself. That's honestly it. Like, I don't think that other people are going to be smarter than you, especially when it comes to the market. Degree? Hell no. I dropped out of high school. I didn't even go to university. Didn't even finish high school. No way. I don't do that formal education stuff. You don't need that. It's dangerous. Formal education is really dangerous right now. I mean, I am like kids that are in school right now are so cooked. They are at the biggest, most disgusting, most dangerous disadvantage I've seen ever for a kid in school right now or for somebody in university right now. It is so bad right now to be in the mainstream education system. I wish I dropped out. I always said this. Like, if anything, I wish I dropped out sooner. School's really dangerous, right? It's really, really dangerous, right? It's just the alternative, because kids are stupid, right? The alternative is not, leave school and smoke weed and, like be a roadman or whatever. That's obviously not what I'm saying. But, to think that, that you're gonna get something useful out of a mainstream education right now in the present day, like, oh my god, like, I don't know, dude. I don't know, like. Capitalism is not forgiving. Like you're not going to be saved because you have a useless degree. In a couple of years, when automation takes your job, you're going to have to do something different. That's really just how it works, unfortunately. All right, we got a couple of spammers. We're gonna have to start blocking people. Why do you guys do this? No sustainable. That's my point, right? Like, jobs are going to be really, really hard moving forward. So, I don't know. I think it's quite scary at this stage. But pardon me. Yeah, let's continue on with the analysis. I want to move it back to Bitcoin. I want to throw some indicators on Bitcoin now. Let's take a look at some of what some of our main indicators are saying. I had a request to throw on the VPVR, and I will do that, but only going back to basically here where we kind of entered this range. We've got our value area low at about 85, which makes sense that that's going to be a little bit of resistance now. Our point of control remains at about 96, which also makes sense because that's where we had most of the consolidation happen for Bitcoin. Value area high up here. Each of these levels could be significant resistance for Bitcoin. It looks like a lot of this resistance starts to build up for Bitcoin at about 84.3, so we'll watch to see how that goes. But right now, the VPVR is really not telling us much. Now, if we do extend this further back to kind of when we entered this price range, now we start to see something very interesting, which is more or less what I've been saying for a long time, but it's just easily visualized. Is we had a nice big volume gap here, but honestly, volume spike here, but honestly, we kind of developed a lot of that now, so this didn't exist before. And so basically our main kind of zone would have been like up here or even up here. And the thinking was pretty straightforward. If you kind of lose this level, then you're probably coming back down to the next significant... You all right, mate? My dog was breathing really heavily just now. And you probably, see the price coming back down to this major zone of kind of price action. It does sit at 68K, which is slightly beyond the 618 golden pocket that I was talking about, but it is still a beautiful, perfect price range to see Bitcoin fall into. Arguably the best price level to see Bitcoin fall into. I've been pretty consistent about saying that for the last, it's been like 4 or 5 months now. For a really long time, I've been saying that kind of 68, 67 is going to be the best level to see Bitcoin fall down to. I even said that before we even got out of this range. So, quite incredibly consistent here, I think, in terms of that, in terms of what we're seeing right now in this market. So, I think that that's going to be something that's kind of worth continuing to pay attention to. My goodness, these fucking spammers are just going crazy right now. What else we got in the live chat? Is the cycle finished? I don't think so. Can I talk about Sui? I will look at that in a bit. We'll look at all of your big altcoins that you want me to look at in a little bit. My guy needs to run for public seat. What kind of public seat are you thinking, bro? We'll see. I might have to go back and fix the UK eventually, but I don't think they'll like me because I'm going to tell them that we need guns on the street with police. We don't have armed police. Can you believe it? We don't have armed police. Like, every other country has armed police, but the UK doesn't. We need armed police on the street. I don't think the UK will want to elect me. That's the problem. I don't think they would want to. But yeah, of course, we would fix that shit up. You just need a strong leader. That's basically what it is, right? Like, if you're ruled by fucking weak, pathetic people who, want to be want points for being gay or whatever, that's just not gonna. That's not gonna. No armed police in Norway is kind of crazy. Like, it's even more important on mainland Europe because it's so easy. It's so easy to get a gun in Europe. It's actually crazy. It's actually, like, I've taken the Eurotunnel. You would not believe how easy it would be to smuggle weapons into the UK. Like, it is so easy to get weapons in Europe. You need a, at least in the UK, I can't speak for the rest of Europe, but you need a better equipped police force. BPN is saying that the UK has armed police. You're right, but they don't patrol the streets, right? They only get called like when necessary. But you know, by that point, it's too late, right? Like you've already got an issue if you're calling them. So, you know, I think there's a lot. You know, there's a lot you need to do. Reform our ex-Tories and ex-Labourers. Hell to the night. I think reform would do well. I think, you know, under Nigel's leadership, reform has a really good chance. I've seen a lot of armed police BPN, but they're clearly not the ones that patrol high streets regularly, are they? So you know, they're very rare. You must live in London as well. You know, if you live in London, London is not representative of the UK. It's one city. It's only 10 million people. You know, that there's another 60 million people across the UK. And most of these places do not have armed police patrolling the streets. That's just what it is. So, you know, there's a lot that you could do to fix these countries, but you know, it's not popular. That's the problem. Yeah, less police talk. You're right, Sean. Let's move on to Solana. We've got $107 Solana right now, and it is kind of, I mean, like, the problem is that there's kind of like mushy support everywhere, but the only good support now is going to be down at like 80. You can make an argument for levels in between, right? If you just joined the live stream, please go back and rewind it because I don't want to repeat it. But you can watch it on 2x speed and you'll probably catch up because I think we'll be live for a little bit longer. But yeah, you know, 107 right now on Solana. You know, there is support, you know, kind of everywhere, but none of it is good. So $80 is kind of the best level. And yeah, John, like you were saying, below that, you know, the next kind of best place is going to be about $30 for Solana. If it ends up falling below 80, I don't think it's going to fall below 80, but who knows? We'll just have to wait and see. Either way, it's phenomenal coin. I think it's going to recover really, really well. I don't think we're done. You know, it looks, you know, still very, very healthy to me overall. Solana actually doesn't look healthy, but Bitcoin is what looks healthy. And if Bitcoin is healthy, then by extension, Solana will be healthy, I think. Bitcoin's dominance is starting to actively set some highs again right now. So we'll see if we kind of sweep that high. If we do, we might be seeing this dump intensify. Although it looks like it's actually picking up while the dump kind of recovers a little bit. So we'll see how that goes. Is there manipulation in the market? Yes, sir. There is always manipulation in the market. Way more than you would like to think. There is definitely, but also less than you think as well. Paradoxically, there is a lot of manipulation going on in the markets. Just probably not in the ways that you guys think. I think here's the thing: is that manipulation will exist on small time frames, but you know, overall, you know, the larger kind of market movements will take over, given enough time. So yes and no. There's a lot of manipulation, but it also has no bearing on the market. You know, at the end of the day. It's like gold, right? Like gold had a shitload of manipulation, back in the early 2020s and whatever, where it basically went sideways here, right? Like there was no good reason for gold to be going sideways here. There was a lot of inflation. There was a pandemic. There was lockdowns. Like it was just like the perfect environment for gold to go up, but it was very clearly getting suppressed, and they kept it suppressed for 4 years, but it ended up doing what it was going to do anyway, and it did it explosively, exactly as we predicted on this YouTube channel. It's even hit my targets exactly as I predicted, but I have raised my targets because of how long this consolidation lasted, and now I'm now expecting 3,600. So we're very, very close to even that as well, in this market right here. Can we look at Matic or Poly? Yeah, let's take a look at Matic real quick. What is going on with Matic? Wow, that is not a good chart. That is really not a good chart. I need a chart with more price history. Is this the furthest it goes? Can someone correct me? Is this the furthest that the price history goes on Matic? What are we looking at here? Is there a better chart? Isn't there like a Binance chart? What the hell's going on? We got Glassnode here. Gemini probably have a lot of price history, right? I guess this is as far back as it goes. Is it pull now? Am I just like out of date with these markets? Is that what's going on? I mean, I knew that they renamed it, but Matic was still working, right? Because that's kind of the same price level. I just need a chart with a lot of price history. Which one is it? Matic is pull. Yeah, they're all the same thing. Matic USDT on Binance. Well, that's not the real chart. All right, well, we're just going to go with this chart. And I mean, what can I say about this chart, by the way? Like, it's just in free fall. It's fallen below all of its key level. This is the right Matic chart, right? Fuck it, it's this one. I've got it right here. I don't know why I'm struggling so much. This is it. This is the chart. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know why that took me so long. It was in my short list the entire time. In my watch list. Shit. Yeah, like shit. Not good. Not good. Really, 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 really not good. It can bounce anywhere because, you know, weird bounces can happen at any point, but from a technical perspective, it has to come down to basically 2 cents. Which is like an 80-90% drop, isn't it? Yeah. Literally an 88% drop. That's from a technical perspective, that's what it's looking like. It just is what it is. It'll be more efficient to look at the Matic BTC chart or the Pull BTC chart. On what? On, I don't know which chart will have the most price history. I'm just going to go with Binance. It doesn't really have enough price history. I don't know. I can't even pull up the chart. I'm sorry, guys. I just can't do it. Silver is now being suppressed. Absolutely. Silver is being suppressed as well, but I don't think that the extent is as crazy. I think that, you know, silver is just generally kind of less attractive, but yeah, it is definitely, and has also definitely been getting suppressed for a while. It's obviously going to pump as well. I just think that it's got less of a case than gold. Buy when there's blood in the streets, even if it's your own. I mean, you know, pretty decent, I think, advice that would work most of the time. And Vinny is saying, holy shit, well, I'm in. Time to DCA. Absolutely, sir. If you've been waiting to DCA, you got the best opportunity right now, man. It's a really, really good time. I wish I could DCA. Shit, I don't have any more money sidelined. If I did, I would definitely be DCAing right now. I feel like Solana and XRP had their run. I feel Doge and ADA have more room to run. Thoughts? I disagree. I think that if any of them are going to pump, then all of them are going to pump. So, no, I don't think so. Obviously, some will pump more than others, but I think that, you know, for the most part, they're all looking pretty good. Obviously, yeah, you know, Doge by comparison, for example, Cardano by comparison, for example, these coins have not pumped as much as some of these bigger ones like Solana. So you could argue that there is more room to go for them, but, you know, you could also equally argue that they were just weaker. I don't really know. It's kind of a hard one, and I haven't seen particular consistency in either direction across these market cycles when these kind of situations play out. So yeah, that's me there. Lisa just went shopping. Shout out to Lisa buying some of this blood. That is absolutely sick. Bro, is there anything like liquidation hunting? I feel many times hit it, and maybe they're using an algo to do it. Of course, Arun, there is a lot of liquidation hunting, and it's really, really bad. What 2 books do I recommend? They're linked in the description. They're both absolutely fantastic. This one's going to be more for beginners, and this one's definitely appropriate for people that are a little bit more experienced in the markets. This is also the single best book I've ever read in my entire life. It's made me the most money in my entire life. Every time I read this book, I make a lot of money. It's only $7. Just read this damn book. Just read this damn book, okay? I shouldn't even be telling you guys, because the more people we have reading books like this, the harder the markets get to trade. But I'll do it for you. I'll do it for you. And I did promise you an interesting chart. I will go through that very, very shortly as well. I do want to continue going through your questions and altcoins before we get there. Someone said don't forget about Sui. I did forget about Sui, so thank you for reminding me. Oh man, do we have more price history than this? Like, is this all it goes back? I guess it is. Okay, we'll just go back to Binance then. What have we got here? This is a good chart. This is a really, 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 really good chart. But the problem is that, like, it might not, like, in and of itself, it looks fantastic, right? I mean, like, this is beautiful. Actually, obviously, the best buy would have been here, right? Because this was the first time that we hit support. Now we're down here for a second time, right? So naturally, you'd expect that even if you do get a bounce, it's not going to be as extreme as this first one. And that would be a very reasonable expectation. However, even despite this, you need Bitcoin to be happy. You need a broader, more positive market environment for coins to produce a really nice big bounce off levels like this. But as it stands right now, this is a really, really, really good chart. Like, this is the best chart I've seen in crypto right now. It's the best. It's better than Bitcoin's chart. It's better than Ethereum's chart. really, really good stuff, I think, the place that this chart is in right now. But the problem is that it's probably just going to be limited by what happens across the rest of the market. Now, I do need to look at SUI BTC in order to get a real reading on this, and it's kind of, it looks like it's got space to, you know, really drop low and just kind of go sideways. This is a good chart too. It looks like, if I had to guess that, you know, certain coins would do very, very well if and when this crash is over and, you know, we go into a bull market, you know, just based on this performance alone, SUI would be one of my best top picks. What is it? It's like from the all-time high, it's down. Oh my god, it's down by 63%, and it's taken, yeah, about 3 months to do that. So it's definitely down by quite a bit. Let's throw a fib on this as well. See what the fib is saying. So we just overshot that 618, which is not good. We've got the 786 down here at $1.50, which makes sense. Let's draw it from here. And we've still lost it. And if we draw it from here, we're just, yeah, we're not looking good. 886 is here, I guess, if you like that 886 fib. I don't know if I don't know how many of you guys use that, but can I check out Chainlink? Yes, sir, I will check out Chainlink. Let's take a look at that. Oh my god, this is an ugly chart. You know what? Shall I just remove all of my lines? Because I don't even like want these lines anymore. What have we got here? Another good chart. Not as good as SUI. It's not as clear, but it is kind of at a, you know, quite critical level. I would probably say that I should draw, like, this is the kind of, but the problem is it's a really wide range, right? So what is this? This is going to be a this is a 40%. You can't do that. That's a 40% range. That's way too wide. So I'd probably kind of draw two boxes, and I'd say that, you know, it could, if it loses this level, it could have to kind of travel back down to about $8.20 on link right here. That would probably be. Anyone else watch CryptoFace almost liquidate 600k live this morning? Man, it's crazy. It's crazy. But I tell you what, if somebody's trading that publicly, they're probably, you know, not trading with their own money. I don't know. I'm not saying that that's him. I don't even know who CryptoFace is, but, you know, don't believe these like highly sensationalized like Twitch streams of people trading and stuff like that. That shit's like oftentimes is not real. Most of what you see is not real, actually. Like, the only reason that you can kind of trust what you see from here, from me, is because I'm actively telling you that you're like doing things in a stupid way. So you kind of like, okay, well, that makes sense, right? Like, at least he's kind of being real with me. Most people won't do that. So you got to keep that in mind. If you were doing so well, then maybe you wouldn't even be watching live streams and videos about this stuff, right? Like, honestly, like, let's just be real about, you know, kind of the situation that we're in. And so I think that, you know, you really gotta take a massive pinch of salt when you watch people here. That's just what it is. And by the way, you know, even if you are doing well, you'd still be watching channels like this. That happens too a lot, but less so. You'd be less desperate to, right? You'd be less interested in it because you don't need to, right? You don't need something to kind of calm you down, and that's where you want to be realistically. Like, it's bad for, you know, for me to say this on this YouTube channel, it's bad for business, but it's the truth. So I'm gonna say it anyway, right? Good thing we don't need to rely on the business, right? Sammy, you just said you have no money left. Do you want me to borrow you a tenner? Thank you very much, Sean. I think I'm good though. I think I'll be all right. Sammy, you're looking handsome today, my man. Thank you very much, Brandon. I need to unfatten myself. I feel like a disgusting fat piece of shit. I really do. It's gotten bad. It's gotten really bad. But I need to fix this. But because I used to be so much fitter, man. I used to be so much better. And I don't know what the hell I did to myself. So I gotta fix it. But you definitely need to weed out the crap YouTubers. That's why we're here. The thing is, Vinny, and this is ultimately like the position that I'm in, that's shit, and that's been like frustrating me for years, is that I could play this game so much better and soak up all the market share on YouTube. And, you know, but in order to do that, I'd have to, you know, be an idiot, right? Like, I'd have to say the stupid stuff that gets you those viewers, and I'd have to lie and say bull market, you know, and you know that your XRP is going to $25 and whatever, and I'd have to like rehearse all that stuff and do it, and I don't want to, right? And then the catch-22 is like, well, okay, well, if you don't want to, then you just won't have the audience, and it's like, well, there's also no point, you know, kind of doing YouTube then either. So that's kind of why I actually just kind of took a step back. Not willing to compromise integrity for sensationalism. Yeah, and ultimately it's because I am actually a trader first and foremost. So you know, like, when I do this, it's because I want to, not because I have to. not because it's a business, right? And that is a really big difference, you know. But you don't find these people often, man. Like, why would you subject yourself to this? Like, if you're competent at the markets, you know, if you're competent with what you're doing and you believe in yourself, then why would you subject yourself to YouTube? It's not nice. It's not pleasant. You know, and life is going. You got family, you got a dog, you know, you got travel. Like, why the hell would you do it? And that's why people don't. And that's why it's so hard to find good people. But you know, I mean, now you guys kind of know how to do it. It's very easy to spot people that are fake, you know, like I think that's very easy. If you want the full price history of Matic, I think it's on Coinbase. I think I was on Coinbase and it didn't have it. Walking will fix everything, Sammy. You're 100% right. Yeah, I've been going for 10K recently again. If you're ever in Anglesey, happy to buy you a beer. Jimmy, I might actually take you up on that. Hit me up on Telegram. Hit me up on Telegram, mate. I might actually take you up on that. Lift weights, buy Bitcoin, sleep, get a dog, life hack. Completely agree. Completely agree. It's a good life. It's a really, really good life. Having a dog is so good. Like, I had no idea. I love you, man. Come up here. Come here, Ghost. Come here. You guys want to see this guy? Can we... Does he show up? Ghost, come here. Can you see him? I love this guy. Having a dog was the best thing I ever did. One of the best things I ever did. This guy is so cool. He's so cool. Can I check out Dot? Yes, sir. Let's take a look at Dot. And I think after Dot, we're going to go into that super secret chart. Smash up the likes for that if you are excited for it. What have we got on Dot? Oh, wow. So it's kind of in Sui's position right now. Another phenomenal buy. I don't see this dropping below. But again, like, it just depends on crypto, on Bitcoin, right? Like, you know, if Bitcoin is still, you know, dropping, then it doesn't matter what these charts say. When he die, you'll die with him. Wow. I don't know if that's like a threat or like or basically saying that I'd be upset. But yeah, I think Dot right here, you know, really, really nice support level. You know, if we do analysis independent of BTC, which I think is a little bit pointless, but if we do, then, you know, I do think it looks really, really good. Incredible potential up to its kind of next significant, you know, kind of resistance level, up by about 57% potentially. Let's look at Dot against Bitcoin. Obviously, that's again going to be one of the more important charts to look at, and it's really looking quite bad, isn't it? I mean, that's not a good picture. Yeah, it's at the same place, right? If Dot sweeps this level against the dollar, it probably sweeps the level against Bitcoin as well. Speaking of Bitcoin, let's go back to the Bitcoin dominance chart, and we're not doing anything right now. We're trying to sweep that high, but we're not quite getting there. And Ghost, come here. Here, come here. Right here. Can you guys see him? You can like probably come here, Ghost. Hup. Yeah, only just. The camera's not really low enough. Ghost. Hup. Hup. Nah, he doesn't want to jump. He's a cool guy though. He's a really, really cool guy. I only DCA, but I watch Sammy to keep reminding me that I'm a lousy trader and I can't control my emotions. Also entertainment value. Well, that's good enough, mate. That's good enough. I think a lot of people need to. I think a lot of people need to, you know, just understand that they're shit traders, and because once you understand you're a shit trader, you can also do something about it and become a better trader. Dot and Matic are lottery tickets, right? I don't even think they're lottery tickets. I think they're like pretty high likelihood of making money buying those coins at these levels. I think. I mean, shit, I could be wrong. I've been wrong before, but yeah, I think anyway. Ryan is asking, please describe what Bitcoin is to me. Bitcoin is sovereign finance, basically, is what it is. So, sorry, I need to. I'm stuck. Okay, I'm just gonna stay stuck. Yeah, Bitcoin is sovereign finance, right? Bitcoin is independent, peer-to-peer, largely uncensorable, unconfiscatable finance. That's what it is. It's cool. It's fun. I love it. Yeah, I love Bitcoin. I love Bitcoin. When does Sailor need to sell? I don't know. There's a lot of hype around Sailor and his selling. Like I said, man, I just can't be asked with these like narratives. Like, yeah, there's probably truth in it, but like you're just, if you're paying attention, the problem is if you're paying attention to it, regardless of if there's truth in it or not, you're probably also the kind of trader that pays attention to other stuff that's irrelevant. And when everything you do is like that, you'll just be a consistently losing trader. So that's why, like, I just don't even look. I just don't even bother. Like, it doesn't matter to me what his liquidation is. You know, for me, it's about what the market levels say in the technicals. I'm just a purely technical guy, man. It just is what it is. Then what can be lottery tickets? I don't know. Why do you want lottery tickets? Stop talking about lottery tickets. I'm talking about, like, consistent, sustainable strategies that somebody could use to trade. And you guys are talking about lottery tickets? Come on, man. Come on, man. You're not in the right place. You're not in the right place, ladies and gents. Ryan says that's a good answer. It's the greatest invention of all time. It's like baby Jesus, born of immaculate conception and given as a gift to the world. Likening Bitcoin to Jesus might be a stretch, but for the most part, I do agree. Bitcoin is a thing you buy then sell for cash, just like any other crypto. Head to the casino, champ. Lottery tickets. Yeah, exactly. If you want lottery, go to the casino. Like, what are you guys doing here? Dogs are the best. I got a cat because of a mouse problem. Now I got a cat problem. Brilliant. Sailor doesn't have a liquidation point. His debt is all in convertible notes. He's not buying with leverage. Gonna need a fact check on that. Not entirely sure about that one. Just realized most people trade against people like Sam. Like, how do you stand a chance PvP? Is this the beginning of the end of crypto? Oh my god, Damien. Is it the beginning of the end, ladies and gents? In the live chat. Is it the beginning of the end? Let me know. Let me know. What happened here? Why is there such a big dump? My ETH Solana trade liquidated. Shit. If you're getting liquidated, your risk management is fucked. You need to do something very different. You should not ever be getting liquidated. Ever, 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 ever. Did I make myself clear? You should never, ever, ever be getting liquidated. I don't know. You people are like, I don't want to be too harsh because obviously I used to be exactly the same, but like, shit, like, I don't know how you people are okay with just losing this much money without doing anything smarter, which is like the majority of the crypto people. You know, like, it just doesn't make sense to me. It just doesn't make sense. This is the beginning of something very good. I agree. I think we're looking at something very, very good. I want to, you know what? I want to point out a couple of things to you. Before I do that, I will go into the chart that I promised. And so what I want to do is I want to show you guys a very, very interesting chart that tells us, why do I look like I'm KKK with that shit? You know, something that I've looked at a little bit with you guys already on this YouTube channel. It's kind of like a, you know, it's not like a secret, but it's something that I don't do, you know, particularly often, because it kind of loses its effectiveness. But it's this chart right here, and, you know, just in one word, without looking at what chart we're on, don't cheat. Let me know, bullish or bearish, how do you feel about this chart right here? In the midterm, okay? So not short term. I'm not talking about what's directly going to happen next. I mean, like, the more kind of mid to long term perspective. What does it look like? You know, just let me know in the live chat. Yeah. Yeah, just let me know in the live chat, and we'll and I want to see what you guys feel about this. So we got bearish. Vinny is saying, well, some of us say lottery tickets. What we mean is that if you put into it, the upside is like a winning lottery ticket. Oh, well, if that's what you mean, then you basically just mean something with a good, you know, risk to reward ratio. That's what you're saying. And yeah, you know, by that definition, I think Matic looks absolutely great. I think Sui looks great. I don't know if Matic was the one that looks great. I think that was the one that looks really bad, but Link was the one that looks good, right? Or Dot. I don't know. I don't remember, but you guys can. Anyway, a lot of bearish. A lot of people are saying that this is a bearish chart. And I agree with you, right? And obviously, this is going to be the Bitcoin inverted chart. So this is just Bitcoin flipped upside down. And, you know, so to me, heavy indication that we come back into this range in some way, do whatever we need to do, and then continue trending down, right? And obviously, you know, considering that this chart is flipped, that basically means that we actually go lower. Or in real life, that means that we go higher. By the way, if you find that useful, do me a favor and smash up those likes so I know that you actually find that useful. It's really useful for me to see that number, and it's also nice. Double check that you're subscribed as well, and just let me know if you did find that as a kind of useful refresher. I use this. I don't use it often because, you know, you lose the benefit of it, but if you use it occasionally, you can really kind of ground your sentiment and recheck how you feel about the market. And if you start finding out that your conclusions are basically completely different when the chart gets inverted, then it probably just means that you were very emotional about the chart, and then that tells you, what you need to work on. So that's really, really good stuff. Yeah, Omar saying very useful. Thank you. Gio likes it as well. Who's buying XRP? I'm here to take your belongings. Nearly at 400 likes, you legends. Thank you all for smashing them up. I'm going to be wrapping this one up relatively soon, so if you have any final questions, let me know in this live chat. What else did I want to cover? Oh yeah, so I wanted to talk to you about a couple of things that are a little bit more controversial. One of them is going to be the Trump trade tariff stuff, okay? And oh my god, I can't open it. Wow, I can't open it. Hang on. Damn it. Oh, here we go. There we go. It's open. Hey, one sec, guys. Yeah, I was very stuck there. Anyway, look, I don't know how much you guys can read this. I'm going to read it out to you. It looks like it's on 4chan or something. I don't know. But Trump is trying to crash the stock market. At least 20% disagree. Causing a flight into treasuries, agree. This will cause the Fed to slash interest rates so you can refinance debt to near 0% and cause deflationary spiral, which will lower the cost of everything. By the way, oil costs and stuff like that have already been going down. Egg prices in America are cheaper than when Biden was in power, but that's not hitting the headlines because everything you fucking see is manipulated. He also intends to use tariffs as an incentive for companies to build in the U.S. to avoid having to pay them. Marco Rubio, or one of them, basically said this very, very clearly. He said that the reason that some major American companies are suffering is because their supply chain, their distribution, their production, everything in their company has been organized and geared in the direction of importing a bunch of shit in order to sell them to Americans and sell them to the rest of the world. And that means they just need to change the way they do business to adapt to this. So it is a tall order, and it is tough to do. The other good thing, though, and I really want to say this to you guys who are watching, because, you've made it, what is this, like an hour and a half into my live stream. You clearly care about your money. You're clearly serious about money. If you're watching, this long. Shout out to Sonny Cole Machama in the live chat saying, I'm your biggest admirer. You should give me a shout out. There you go. One of the things that I'd really, really stress in this market situation is, when a big shakeup like this happens, I want you to understand, ladies and gents, when a big shakeup like this happens and big companies that are at a significant disadvantage because they can't pivot quickly enough, or they don't want to, or it's costly, or whatever it may be, that is actually a really, really good opportunity for a new entrepreneur to rock up on the scene, somebody who has less money, less resources, less experience, less skin in the game, to rock up on the scene and start adapting quicker than a bigger company and helping bigger companies adapt, or whatever the case may be. In other words, there's an arbitrage opportunity here. And those of you that are very smart, that are very motivated, you might have already noticed this, quite frankly, but if you haven't, then here you go. I'm basically handing to you, millions of potential business opportunities on a silver platter for you. You figure out how to do it now. But there's definitely a very, very, very clear opportunity here for people that kind of want to play this arbitrage in the middle, and it gives an opportunity for poor people to get rich with these kind of things. And it's not just a Trump tariff thing. This is like another easy example is if you're the guy that basically just helps companies introduce AI chatbots onto their website instead of a shitty, like support rep from a country where somebody can't even speak English and they can't even help you, and you replace that guy with, AI, you get to charge that company and make money in the middle. So like, you can be upset about it. I understand why it's upsetting, but ultimately I'm just trying to be real with you. There are a lot of opportunities to get rich if you're poor right now, and this is a good example of what that looks like. So you're an honest man. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Jafar. I appreciate that too. That's what I'm going for here, ladies and gents. That's kind of it. So you'll get that non-stop on this YouTube channel. But bringing it back to this post right here, he also intends to use tariffs as an incentive for companies to build in the US to avoid having to pay them. The tariffs and the resulting global trade war will also force American farmers to sell more of their goods to the US due to retaliatory trade measures by other countries, which will directly lower the price of groceries in the United States. So how does this do that? If it's not profitable to sell abroad, then it'll be more profitable to sell domestic, and you'll have to compete domestically as well. More than 94% of all stock owned is just by 8% of the US population. Trump is literally taking money from the rich and giving it to the poor. This is ultimately the biggest point that I think is a really, 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 really big deal, okay? This is not something that you would see from a left-wing government. This is not something that you'd see from a socialist government. It never happens. It doesn't happen. They don't tank markets or do things that they know could tank markets, in order to help the poor people or to help the people generally. This is really just something that we've seen Trump do. And I mean, it's kind of like best case scenario, right? Like, this is what everybody wanted, right? But now that it happens, it's like I said, and I pointed this out at the very, very beginning of this live stream from my own Twitter page right here. Everybody is fascinated by history, but they hate being a part of it, okay? Equally, economists are consistently the most stupid people when it comes to the economy, okay? Equally, the problem with economics and finance is that it's so easy to spit any bullshit narrative that you like. It's really just a case of how good you are with words and how confidently you speak. But in the end, real numbers don't lie much. So stay locked in, ladies and gents. Okay, that's all on my Twitter. If you like that kind of shit posting, you're very welcome to follow me with the link in the description down below. Where is the Twitter link? It is right here. Check that out. You could call it a retaliation against Trump. Yeah, a lot of it is a retaliation against Trump, but I don't know, man. You're really competing against you're competing against the guy who arguably got saved by God when he got shot. Like, I don't know, man. Like, for me, it's like I'm literally just like, I don't know. Like, let me just see what this guy has to do. Like, that's my perspective. I'm not like I'm not even that religious, but like that guy like 100% did not get saved by luck. I think that was some greater forces that must have helped him. And now he's shaking up the economy. Like, it's like I said this at the beginning of the live stream. If we had this discussion a couple of years ago about the US economy, about the global economy, we all would have said the same thing. We all would have said that the economy is in a really bad place. It's really dangerous. It's unsustainable. It can't go on this way. It's going to crash. Everything's really, really bad. And then at the same time, now that things are starting to change, because this is the first time that things have started to change, we're just hating it. We're just really, really upset by it. It's not surprising. I don't think it's surprising at all. But I think that for sure, it's not even about religion. Like, it goes beyond that. Like, we can use the word simulation and the same shit applies. Like, just the fact that this guy got saved after being shot like that is just mad. And then he went on to win. It's just so many things that are like such a small likelihood of happening. When you put them all together, it's either like the craziest coincidence ever, which is going to be the very atheist black pill perspective, or it's going to be actually there's some like divinity going on here. And I am not a Trump supporter in the same way that many other Trump supporters will say this stuff, but it's like I said, I'm just saying what I see here. I think, despite how scientific I feel I am, despite how objective I feel that I try and be, part of being objective, part of being realistic is acknowledging, in my opinion, that there are greater forces at play, right? I firmly believe that. The last year has shown me that very, very clearly, but I didn't need the last year to show me that. There's plenty of, beautiful and fucked up stuff to show that that's the case anyway. That happened way before, the events of this. By the way, like, the world just really changed in the last year, right? Like, from the date that Trump got shot, from the time that basically they took Biden out, or that debate, it was just absolutely crazy. But it's like I said, like, even if you want to be totally, realistic and like, red pill and on the right side of history about all of this stuff, like, to me, like, there has to be some space in these very level-headed calculations. There has to be some space for, greater powers at play, because if you don't have space for that, then you can't really explain some of these more crazy coincidences that get stacked on top of each other. And that's why I just, the collection of all, I think I sound crazy to a lot of people, but I think one of the other things I know for sure is that this is not really a minority opinion anymore. It's not a minority. People that disagree will want you to think this is a minority opinion, but it's really not. It's really not a minority opinion anymore. And I think it's just that people are not really willing to talk about it. Matko is saying it's just patterns. It could just be patterns, right? Like that, I think, is a really good explanation. It could just be patterns, but again, it's just too many coincidences getting stacked on top of each other for me to believe that it's just a pattern. Like I don't really see that. Saved by God to make America great again. I don't know, dude. Maybe. Who knows? But yeah, that's kind of how I feel about all of that. It is still true nonetheless that, Trump's policies have caused some of the biggest crashes in the S&P 500 ever in a single day. But, I mean, I just, like, that's not something that upsets me. Like, like, volatility is not a bad thing, is my point. Like, I'm not going to get upset by that because that's what we wanted and we're getting it. And yeah, like, shit, like, that's how you move up. And, and I also pointed this out in the most recent video, that went up maybe yesterday. We've done this a lot. Like, 630 days and then a crash, 850 days. It makes sense that we're getting a crash right now. Like, from a time perspective, it lines up really, really well. And this continues to go on, by the way. I mean, if we look at this, like, up to this kind of significant crash right here, this was like a 1,500 day thing. If we draw it from here, we're looking at about 400 days. If we draw it from from here, then we're looking at more like kind of 1,500 days, or maybe just up to this high. That's still 1,000 days. In all cases, we're like kind of like on time for a correction. So I just don't really see it. Jimmy watching in bed. Swim and gym at 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. Brilliant. Love that, mate. Love that. Greed is evil. I would want friends, not greed. GeoRider saying it still looks bullish. I agree, man. It does still look bullish to me. Definitely still looks bullish to me. Let's see if there's any more altcoins. But with that, I am going to be wrapping this live stream up. If you have enjoyed this one so far, then you know exactly what to do. Smash up those likes, subscribe, tick the bell, all that good, beautiful, beautiful stuff. Check out those links in the description if you want to get that free cash. Now's your chance. Very, very cool stuff if you're not from a restricted region. Can I explain in depth what I meant by the arbitrage opportunity? Not really, but I'll do my best. I'll go high level. I won't go just ChatGPT it after this. Just take it to ChatGPT and continue on the conversation. But basically, what I'm saying is, when things get shaken up, like domestic U.S. companies have to change how they work in order to not pay so much tariffs and be competitive again. When those kind of things get changed up, there's going to be a period of transition, and if you are the guy that helps those people transition, you can get paid large amounts of money for it. So it's a case of figuring out how you can help them, how you can get seen by them to get paid by them. Maybe you don't go to the biggest companies, maybe smaller ones that are, a little bit more kind of able to kind of take your business, stuff like that. And those are going to be, I thought of it myself, right? But it's a lot of work, and I don't know, like I'm a trader, dude. Like I'm all right. Like I'm building trading bots and shit. So, I'm not really, there's some really cool stuff I'm building, by the way. Like, I haven't been telling you guys about it because I don't, but it's cool and I'm excited. It's taking way longer than I wanted it to. It's ridiculous. Like building stuff is so hard, but if there was a God involved, I would hope it be for the whole world and not just a single country. Well, the US's success is the success of the whole world. It literally is the success of the whole world. If you disagree with me, then then you should, then I would like you to explain to me how your country has Wi-Fi and phones and cars. No. The success of the US is the success of the world, just like the success of the UK or the success of Dubai or the success of Singapore or any of these countries is the success of the world. Okay, capitalism is a positive sum game. When one guy gets rich, everybody else has a chance to get richer too. And oftentimes it works that way. And if you disagree, then I don't know. You're gonna have to find a way of explaining to me why we've never had more people having cars, having washing machines, having books in their hands, having phones in their hands. You're gonna have to explain to me how that's possible if we're not living in a positive sum game. What bot platform? I'm not really talking about the bots right now. The bots, I'll be honest, the bots were actually originally created to go on platforms like Bybit, because you can actually you can use the bots that I create that way. So that was kind of the original plan, but then the bots turned out to be really good, and I was like, I'm not making this public. That's literally what happened. That is literally what happened. But I'm making so many more bots now. Like every time I do this, there's another idea, and we're just testing it, and it's going well. So I think there's still going to be stuff that gets released. I think we might go in more of like a fun design, like a hedge fund style design. We'll see. I don't know, man. We'll see. I'm really not thinking about it that much right now because it's still early days for sure. Hi bro, I came first on your stream. Love from Dubai. Welcome to the live stream, mate. Welcome to the channel. What is the timing on my daily live streams that I can join? Yeah, it's usually gonna be about this time. Usually it's gonna be about kind of 10-11 p.m. Dubai time, whatever that is in the UK, New York, whatever. But I don't live stream every day. It's gonna be a live stream kind of whenever there's some significant stuff going on. Most of the time, it's just a normal video. But I like that you keep your tabs arranged, dude. My tabs are not arranged. I think that's sarcasm. Is God doing trickle down economics? I don't know, dude. It's a weird one, right? That's why I'm not really like saying that it's God. I don't know. It's more complicated than that maybe, but it is a weird one. It is a weird one. Do I have a price for that bot that I said is really good? I guess if somebody wanted to pay me for the bot, I'd have to start thinking about how to value it, but I'm not selling any of these bots for less than like 100k. Probably not even less than like $1 million, honestly. Like realistically, I don't think I would. Because this shit is too valuable. Like, this shit is just too valuable. But hey, don't worry about, you guys not having a piece of it. I'm a YouTuber. I'm gonna find a way to bring a piece of it to you. I don't know how it's gonna happen. But it's part of the deal. It's part of what I'm doing. I'm already thinking about it. So I'm not leaving you guys behind. That is a commitment. If I'm going up, you guys are coming with me. That's how this works. Yeah, but I don't think these bots are for sale, to be honest. I don't think so. Did you message in French? I don't speak French, dude. I don't speak French. I see this live chat comment. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna be wrapping this one up. Good luck. I'm gonna be wrapping this one up. If we have any final questions, requests, then please drop them here. Yeah, mate. The thing about the development of these bots is because of the way it is, it's not even being done locally. Like you're just like I'm very serious about them. I'm very serious about them. And that's why it's one of the reasons I'm making many videos. It's because I've just been busy with this stuff. But yeah, I mean, look, it could fail. I want to be very clear. I mean, this is literally my first time ever making bots. I'm not expecting to do it successfully. And it's really hard, by the way. It's really hard to make a good trading bot. It's like one of the harder things I've ever done. So I actually think that the chance of me failing this is very, very high at the beginning. It's very, very high. I'm kind of expecting this to take me like a year to get to a good place, but we'll see. I mean, I hope it doesn't take a year. I feel like I'm getting too old for this shit. I've been doing this for 8 years now, but we'll see how that goes. When would I launch my own crypto? I don't know, man. I don't know. It would have to get really bad for me to launch a crypto, wouldn't it? Thanks for being a sane voice in these markets. Please don't stop making videos. I'm not going to stop making videos, dude. I don't think I'm going to stop making videos. I think if anything, what I would do is I would stop reading comments and I would stop I think what I would do is I'd have to find a way where I can put content out without having an opportunity to read responses. Or to even read what other people have to say, right? Like it's basically like I'll put something out, but I won't see what other people are saying, whether it's replies or independent posts. I think that's probably the way I want to do it. Probably the best way for most people. I think most people who are good at like posting stuff and putting content out are like that. Some people are not. Some people are like Zuby, like ZUBY. Shout out to him. Absolute legend. This dude broke the women's deadlifting record in the UK. Very, very impressive. And he can kind of be plugged in and then still have good takes that he puts out, and I find that very impressive. But I think for the most part it's really toxic, and you need to just not have it in your mind. So, and to be honest, that's the way I want to do it. Like I actually really, really enjoy like just talking shit. Like I'll just be a dickhead and say what I want to say, and like not care, and then just log off. And that's kind of what I do. I just think it's better, right? Like because the thing is that there is don't I want communication? This is the thing, is I do want communication, right? But when all of the questions are very basic, it stops me from talking about the higher level stuff that I think is more interesting. And Like, I don't mind it, right? Like, I'm always, always helpful to people who ask me basic questions. If your question is stupid, then I might first say, like your focus is in the wrong place, which I also do quite regularly. But for the most part, almost always, I'm like very much helpful to anyone that's asking like a more kind of beginner level question. But it stops me from doing the stuff that I really want to do, is my point, and quite frankly, like a lot of the easier questions, you can just chat GPT them, can't you? So, for me, it's about like the really high level problems that are hard to solve that I kind of try and work on. And that's what you would get more of if, this is more of like a one-way thing. That's my point. I don't know what I would do, right? Like I've been thinking this for years, like a year or two, but I haven't actually changed what I do, right? Like we're having a live stream. This has been going on for like 2 hours and it's overwhelmingly positive. It's been a really enjoyable one. You guys love talking to me. I love talking to you. You missed the live stream, please go back and rewind. I won't repeat it. And so I love all of this stuff. You guys like it, so I don't know. I don't know what I want to do, but what I know for sure is that as these crashes keep getting more intense, the stupidity levels of people keep also getting more intense, right? And that just, it's a drag. It's not nice to work with. Yeah, that's a big part. I don't really know. I haven't really made my opinions on this yet. But either way, you would get better content out of me. That I can say for sure. I'm not stopping. I'm not gonna stop. If it gets to the point where I want to stop, I will just isolate even more and then continue. Because I don't, I'm not here to kind of, like debate or go back and forth. I've kind of done that, and if I'm wrong, then that's my problem. That's literally what I'm bringing to the table. That is what I'm bringing to the table. It's like, if this is what I think, I've thought deeply about it, I've discussed it internally, I've come to a conclusion, I feel like I'm confident in that conclusion, and now if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. I'm not looking to be corrected by Twitter or YouTube. And I don't know, I guess you could paint it as like a little bit more arrogant, but I think it's just what's going to work more for me. It's like I said, like I'm not loyal to like a particular idea or a person. I'm just loyal to my own wallet, and so should you. If you're anything but that, and you're obviously not, but if you're anything but that, then you're just being silly. You got to look after yourself, and then you can look after other people. So and that's what I'm advocating for. I'm saying, be loyal to yourself. Don't be loyal to anybody else. Don't be loyal to anything else. Just yourself. That's the only person that matters is you. That's it. It's you, and then your family, your friends who you want to take care of. That's it. Nothing else. If there's anything else going on, then you're misguided. The problem is, if there's anything else going on, you won't be effective for yourself or your family. That's the problem. Don't give in to the negativity. Go high, and there will be followers. Yeah, we'll see, man. We'll see. There could be. Just tuning in live. Do I think Bitcoin will keep dropping? Greetings from Team Netherlands. I don't know, dude. You're going to have to rewind the live stream. It's a bigger question than that. Here comes the Wyckoff spring. Same as September. Interesting, huh? Maybe that is what's happening. GeoRider saying exactly correct. No one's perfect, and that to everyone's situation is different. Yeah, agreed. How do I think the situation between the USA and Iran would affect the crypto market? I'm planning to invest 1K. I think the US is going to go pretty hard on Iran in the next couple of years. I think it's going to be difficult for Iran. Maybe Iran starts changing what they do, but it doesn't look like it's going in that direction right now. And it's a bigger thing, right? Like, it's not just an Iran question. We have to start asking questions about the other countries beginning with I in the Middle East. So, it's going to get complicated. But I think that Iran is probably going to get squeezed pretty hard, just like last time during Trump's administration. The effect on crypto, I think limited. I don't really expect. First of all, I don't think we're getting a world war at all. It's really a morbid fantasy of a lot of men that we get a World War III. I don't think we're getting a World War III. Who wants to? Nobody even wants to fight. And I think that, because we're not getting World War III, it's just going to be, flexing and angry words and, maybe a missile or something, but, nothing too crazy. Kind of the same stuff that we've seen already. And because of that, I don't think that there's going to be much of an impact on the markets. So, any other questions, any final questions, let me know. Otherwise, I am going to be heading off. Smash up those likes one last time if you haven't done so already. You absolute legends. Let's get this thing up to 500 likes if we can. Double check that you're subscribed. Even if you watch this content regularly and you're not subscribed, YouTube is not going to push it out to you that much. YouTube will push it out to you when we're live, when we're making videos. with much more consistency and reliability if you are subscribed and engaging with the videos. It just is what it is. If you like the content, then you know what to do. Bitcoin is just speculative. The fact that anyone who wants to use crypto for payment purposes can use a stable coin like USDT makes Bitcoin automatically useless in the world except for speculation. You are 100% correct, sir. You are 100% correct. And that's why Bitcoin failed. That's why Bitcoin died. I love Bitcoin. Bitcoin's probably my favorite thing in the world outside of my family and my dog and my cars. Bitcoin's my favorite thing in the world. And I can tell you right now, straight to your face, that it died, it failed, it's not serving its purpose, it's a pump and dump shitcoin for the Trump administration. It just is what it is. It just is what it is. So you're 100% correct. The benefit is that if people do start, it's a big if, but if people do start kind of, turning on to the spectacular design of Bitcoin, then that could change, right? And Bitcoin is going to be the most sovereign form of money that exists, and that could start to change. So that is still possible. How can we use Bitcoin to help arm your local police? I don't know. How? I don't think so. Could you? I don't know. You probably could. I don't know. That's a weird question. The political and economic state of the world is falling like the last week. It's really not, though, bro. It's really not. Like, I don't know, dude. Like, this shit is getting excessive. You need to go outside. Like, just go to a fucking go to a park. Like, go touch some grass, bro. Like, the world is not in a bad place. It's not. Like, nowhere is. Not even Iran. Like, nowhere is in a bad place, like the way people are talking. It's just not. Like, life is going on. Everyone's struggling, yeah, but, like, how, like, since when is that new? Everyone has always been struggling throughout history. It's the best it's ever been everywhere in the world. Everywhere in the world. Limited exceptions do not disprove the rule. They do not disprove the rule. Let's just get real with it. You guys got to go outside if you feel like the world's fucked. It's just not. It's just not. Yeah, it's just getting harder. People are getting squeezed more and more, but that's it. It was a Jaden Smith reference. Okay, my bad. I didn't understand that. But yeah, 10-minute voice note that I put in, 10-minute analysis piece that I put in for free into the 4flies Telegram Gold chat. I did not put it on YouTube. I did not put it on Twitter. It's an exclusive that went straight there. Really, really, really solid analysis. You can still get it. It was posted on April 5th. Which was, oh my god, that was just yesterday. I'm losing track of time. Or 2 days ago. That depends on your time zone. But yeah, check it out if you are interested in more free content from the team and I. Get off my golden throne. What's happening with my golden throne, dude? What's my golden throne? What's your point? Let people spread the love, turn the world into a better place. The only way you're going to turn the world into a better place is by getting people rich. It's the only way that's ever worked throughout history. It's the only way that's going to continue to work throughout history, okay? It's not going to be a religion that does it. It's not going to be, some sort of like uniting figure that's like a big leader. None of it. It's you just have to get people rich, okay? The richer people are, the happier people are, the better life is, okay? That's just how it is, okay? Yeah, if you mix in a little bit of drugs into it, fentanyl, whatever, then you're going to start seeing society collapse again and going in the opposite direction. But ultimately, that's also going to be an income problem for the most part. If people have money, if they have something to worry about, if they have an estate to worry about, if they have an estate that they want to hand down to their kids, or something to, if they feel like they have a chance, then they will work. Okay, we need a healthy, vibrant economy. That is the solution to all of our problems. It's actually quite beautiful how consistently capitalism works well. It's beautiful how consistently it works well. Go outside, tell me it should be better. Now world struggled enough. Yeah. You should know I live in India following TM. I don't think that living in India changes any of this. I think like you and I have created a fashion brand in Switzerland. Hell yeah. That's what I'm talking about, man. That's what I'm talking about. Brandon saying just a little bit of weed to take off the stress and see the charts in a chill way. I don't know, dude. Maybe. I don't think you need drugs to see the charts differently. I really don't think you do. I don't think it makes anywhere near a difference that people try and make it out to make. Even if you had like cocaine and stuff like that, I can't see how these would be beneficial to you. You need to be like pretty sober and calm and like neutral. And I think that, I don't know how weed would affect that, but I think that for the most part, drugs are gonna hurt that, not help. What's up, Symbol? How you doing, bro? Welcome to the stream. You today versus the Sammy from 4 years ago. Did I take more risky trades? Yeah, I was a lot more risky. I was a lot riskier with my trades 4 years ago. Yeah. Well, 4 years, because 4 years ago was 2021 as well. But also the markets were easier back then, you know. So it's not really fair to ask, you know, black and white questions like that because there's more to it. One day I'll send you your new best hoodie, dude. Thank you so much. You're so cool. I mean, I appreciate it, dude. Even the fact that you said that, thank you. Yeah. Picked up some more Link and Pyth. Nothing crazy, but $1,000 each. Yeah, fair enough, dude. I mean, you know, I think people that are interested in buying here, whether or not it's the right level to buy, these people are generally going to be on the right side of history, I think, a lot of the time. Can I get 100 USDT because I'm going to liquidate? Oh my god. Just don't trade like an idiot. How about that? Would you say someone with a smaller account 1 to 10k should take bigger risks and more trades? I wouldn't say that, but I think many people would, and I think it makes sense. Ultimately, you want income, you want like a stable job of some sort, and then, you know, you put money into the markets. That's going to work much better for you than, you know, deciding if you should take riskier or safer trades. I mean, that is a discussion that you need to have with yourself, but only you can answer that. But ultimately, even better than that is just, you know, a stable DCA into crypto regularly. Sorry, Hans, you're cooked. I mean, you kind of are, right? Like, when you're going, like, desperately trying to look for relief when you're close to liquidation, you're just fucked. Like, you need to stop trading and, like, honestly take, like, a 6-week break and, like, figure out what the fuck you're doing with your life, because that's not going to work. Like, you're just going to be in that exact same position again in a week. All the time, every time. There's no, like, this doesn't change. People who are like that always are like that. They need to stop, they need to quit, they need to reevaluate, and they need to decide if they want to stay in the game. I'm holding on for dear life. We pump 120k end of May. Let's see, dude. Let's see. I don't think that's going to happen, but let's see. Let's see. All right, ladies and gents, that's probably going to be me. Do I think Bitcoin can help Greg's do more baked goods? What kind of questions are these, dude? I don't know. But now you're making me want a Greg's, so I'm gonna have to figure out how to make that happen. That's the problem with the UK, man. There's a couple of really nice. You get nice fish and chips. You get Greg's. You know what I mean? Like, you get. Just there's a couple of things that are really good about the UK, but then you got to fly to the UK to have them, or live in the UK, even worse. That's the problem with the UK, man. We need, but it's good, you know. Like, Dubai's getting a lot more like UK British stuff, you know. Like, there are people in England are surprised to find out that there are beer garden style pubs in Dubai all over the place. You can drink, you can have your dog on the patio with you, have a beer. Yeah, you're gonna pay a big sin tax for your alcohol, which is funny, but. I don't know. I think that makes sense too. Why not? Like, why not charge a sin tax on alcohol? You don't pay taxes anyway in Dubai, do you? So, yeah, pay a little bit of tax on alcohol. Who the fuck cares? It's actually quite brilliant. So Dubai is becoming more and more British, and that's going to keep on happening. You know, a lot of people are going to the Middle East not because they want the Middle East, but because they want their Western life in a safer place, in a place with less taxes, and so they recreate their life in the Middle East. And that means that there's a place for everybody. It's actually really nice. If you want to dip out of Western culture, go a little bit more Eastern, Middle Eastern. That's very easy to access in Dubai as well. If any of you want to set up in Dubai, just hit me up on Twitter or Instagram. I can get you set up very easily. I've set up a lot. Not a lot, but I've set up a few very, very high-profile people that you've heard of as well. So we've been doing this for a little bit. How to make money from AI? Oh my god. I don't know, dude. Maybe ChatGPT it, or just rewind the last couple of times I answered your questions. Sin tax, there's no way that's a real thing. That's a real thing. Yeah, that's a real thing. It's a tax for sinful stuff, and it applies to alcohol. Maybe it even applies to pork, eating pork in the UAE. I don't actually know, because I know it's possible to buy pig meat in the UAE, but I wouldn't be surprised if there was a sin tax on it. So, like, fuck it, dude. Like, who cares? Like, your shit's gonna be marked up like 2x maybe at worst. Like, maybe even if it gets marked up like 5x, at least you can still get it. You know, and you're not paying taxes anyway. And if you're worried about the taxes on your fucking booze, then you should not be drinking. It just is what it is, all right? I'm not here to tell you how you should or shouldn't be living, but at the same time, you're an idiot if you're worried about the price of your booze. Then you just, you know, like, why are you drinking, dude? Like, fix your life. Like, it's not. I don't know, man. This is where drinking culture takes it too far. What do I think about the M2 chart? I've looked at it. I want to look at it again. I don't really think anything crazy about it, but it does look good for crypto right now. Is every investor going broke? I don't think so. All right, ladies and gents, I am going to be wrapping this one up right here. Let's smash those likes up one more time if you haven't done so already. We are so close to 500 likes. Pump them up. We only need 50 more to get us up to 500 likes. Double check that you're subscribed if you haven't done so already. Check out the beautiful links in the description for cool offers if you're not from a restricted region, all that good stuff. What is my advice if you're a bearish guy? Don't marry yourself to being bearish or bullish. That's what I would say. Can you help fix my life? I'm too busy drinking. No, I can't help you. Just stop drinking. I don't know. I don't know how to fix an alcoholic's problem. Probably go to AA or something. All right.